Hi, and welcome to another installment of the Downtown St. Joseph Public Library program, DIY Why Don't You? This month we're making good use of the leftovers of our real activities during quarantine. This is our first take and make for adults, and I hope you'll watch to the end to find out how to get your kit. Each kit will come with things you see here: a key ring, some wire, some beads, some dangle beads, a charm, spacer beads, and a cork if you need it. I have plenty. Of course, kits will be available as long as supplies last, so be sure you email me, and that information will be on the last bit of the video. So to get started, pick out whatever beads and charms you want to use, or if you're using a kit, that will be already done. You want to get a nice sturdy wire that's going to be able to be pushed through a cork fairly well. This is a 16 gauge, and I wouldn't recommend going with 18. It was really too thin. 14 might be a little harder to work with, so 16 is about ideal. Cut off about 6 or 7 inches of wire. Okay, make sure you straighten it out so that you're working with a nice fresh piece of wire here. And then I slip my keyring on and just bend it so that I know about where I'm going to make my loop. Then I'm going to make a circle with that wire. And I want it to be a bit bigger than the keyring, of course, because I want the keyring to be able to jiggle around inside it pretty well. And I double wrap it so it's a circle of 2. And I use the pliers to round that out and really shape the wire. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to slip that onto the key ring and see how it works. Yeah, okay, that moves really well. So now I'm just going to tuck in the tail and have it line up with the rest of the wire. You have a couple options. You could actually trim it off and have it be really close, but I like to try to hide it within the bead. So you see, I'm just going to line it up with that other wire, and hopefully it'll tuck inside the beads that I'm putting on so that it won't snag on things inside a bag or inside pockets or anything. Now I'm making a key ring for a friend who's a Griffins fan, so I chose black and gold beads. You probably can't read the charm, but it does say keep calm and kill all zombies, which I think will also fit for my friend. The 14 gauge wire is great to poke through the cork, but that means you have to get beads that have a much bigger diameter to fit on there. I thought about putting just the bead at the top, and that would be fine, but I really think I'd like the spacer on first. Just gives it a little more detail at the top, makes it look a little fancier. So I'll put a spacer on, and then my big bead, my big decorative bead, and then another spacer. Now I'm going to get the cork on. Don't try to put it on with your hand all the way at the end. You want to get nice and close so that you've got some control over the wire. And you want to be gentle with it, but firm. So don't do big lengths. Use your pliers if you need to push it on in. Okay. Ease it through. And that cork is going to help hold your beads in place now. Already looks pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to put another spacer bead on, and then another decorative bead, and another spacer. Now you have to think about where your charms and your dangle beads are going on in relation to one another, because we don't want the beads to cover what the words on the charm are. So put those on first, and then put your dangle or your charm on with the words out so that you can read them with the beads behind them. Now hold your wire, your finger, there should be a finger's length between the spacer bead and your dangle beads. And then make a bend on the outside of the charm, and that'll give it plenty of room to dangle. Okay, so just bend it up. All right. Now you're going to test it to make sure that they jiggle, and that's a really nice length of loop there. But now you need to chop off that excess, and you see I can't get my cutters in there, so I'm going to have to bend it back out just a little bit. And you want to gauge how much you actually want left on there, because you're going to tuck it up in. This part isn't so bad because it's not weight bearing, so I don't have to leave myself a whole lot extra. And then you're just going to crimp it in to kind of hide that tip under the spacer bead. And there you go. Not bad. You can kind of see the gold and the black there a little bit, and I think my friend will like that. And I hope your friends do too. This is an easy craft, and I'm sure, I'm not a professional jewelry maker. I'm sure there are better ways to do this, and you may find them for yourself. If you come up with good ways to work with wire, feel free to let me know. Email me and say, hey, you can do this more easily than you did in the video. I am always open to suggestions, and I will pass that along to anyone else who asks. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll join us again next month.